Moin! I'm Catherine, and today I'm in bed with my favorite books of the month of May. All in all, I've read and listened to 15 books in May, but only 2 made it into the top list. The third one I'm going to talk about was a reread, so that was a given positive. And then I'm going to talk about another book I didn't like that much. The first book I really enjoyed in May was Der Pfau by Isabel Bogdan, which is about a few London bankers who go on a team building trip to Scotland, and on arrival have to find out that the accommodations are just a tiny bit simpler than they expected and that they have to share rooms. If you understand German, I recently had Isabel Bogdan over for a wonderful interview. I will put the link in the description. And she also reads out the parts with the bunk beds, which is super funny. And the whole book is super fun, especially if you are into intelligent humor like me. The characterizations are subtle, pointed and amusing. The story about this peacock that goes crazy when it sees the color blue is hilarious and rounded up nicely. Sadly, the Pfau isn't translated into English yet, and when I asked Isabel about the chances, she answered that in general not too many German novels are translated into English, and that basically you have to be a man and there have to be Nazis in the story. Now I think that's sad and above all stupid, so if you trust me that this novel is worth your while, just go ask your favorite publishing agency to give it a thought. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. The other book I really liked in May is Full Circle by Michael Thomas Ford. Although I had to overcome some cognitive dissonance about the positive description of the decision to become a soldier in the Vietnam War, to be fair, the book doesn't really make a statement about if the Vietnam War was justified or not. It really stays on the very subjective experiences of the main character, but it was still really hard for me to accept. There's also some gender bullshit going on at the beginning of the novel that bothered me a little bit, but otherwise it's a very ambitious novel that wraps up gay history and the history of AIDS brilliantly. Ned, the main character, is a time witness to the murder of Harvey Milk, for example, and the Stonewall riots. It's also about a very complex friendship and jealousy and forgiveness. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. I also reread The Time Traveler's Wife by Audrey Niffenegger, which is one of my all-time favorite books anyway, and I mean, how beautiful is this edition? Whoever came up with this, thank you. I reread it for a book talk that we sadly had to reschedule, but as soon as we filmed this, I will put the link in the description. So my comment when the musician who I'm going to talk about this book with told me that he would like to talk about The Time Traveler's Wife was, so I'm going to spend the whole weekend crying rereading this, because every time I just told my assistants behind the cameras that I think this is a total must read. It's an epic love story, cleverly written, gripping, heartbreaking. Just read it, you two. It's one of my very, very rarely given 5 out of 5 stars books. And then I actually had a did not finish in May, because as I told in my January book wrap up, I joined the Emma Watson Our Shared Shelf book group on Goodreads, and the May read was The Argonauts by Maggie Nelson, and I bought this book with great expectations, because here's what the blurb promised me. At the center of The Argonauts is the love story between Maggie Nelson and the artist Harry Dodge, who is fluently gendered. As Nelson undergoes the transformations of pregnancy, she explores the challenges and complexities of mothering and queer family making. And wow, that really would have interested me. What I got was intellectual jerking off. Now, I've studied literature and linguistics, I even did some gender studies, and still really had difficulties following this. If you want me to empathize with you, give me a story that I can follow. Now, I don't even want to bad talk the book completely, it surely has its audience. I think my main problem lies in the discrepancy between what I expected and what I got, and also because I think it was a very poor choice for this book club. Now, I think the book club is a great idea and a perfect way to get people interested in topics like feminism or gender questioning, but I don't think that The Argonauts was a very accessible and good book to do that. Now, I would love to know if you joined the Emma Watson book club and if you read or tried to read the Argonauts and what you thought about it. Leave a comment, let me know. That's it for my May wrap up, and don't forget, support your local book dealer.
And give me another time to fight, another chance to say goodbye. I wasn't prepared to let the light come undone.